House of Commerce. Hope you all are doing well. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about the very first chapter of cost accounting. What is cost accounting? Cost accounting is an accounting which is purely called the factory accounting and used to determine the accounting regarding the cost, regarding the selling of a product, everything regarding the factory. So here we are going to discuss about firstly the very first chapter, calculation of cost of goods manufactured. So how the goods are calculated we should know in this video, so stay tuned till last so that you may come to know about how to record the cost of goods manufactured if it is about the manufacturing concern. Okay, so far we have studied accounting of trading business, and in that business we just purchase the products of other businesses and sell it. But here we are doing the accounting of a manufacturing concern, so we will be having the product in three stages. Number one is raw material, and when the raw material is sent to the process, in the manufacturing process, that is called work in process, and then it is turned into the finished goods, the shape of a product where we want to have the product finished and the desired shape of a product. So we are going to study all these three items and all these three stages. Although in the trading business we had only one merchandise inventory type, whichever we purchase for the selling purpose. But here we have the merchandise inventory in three stages. So if somebody asks me that how to calculate the merchandise inventory of a manufacturing concern, so I'll add the cost of raw material, work in process, and the finished goods as well. So in that way, I can get the cost of inventory. So here, we are going to discuss about the calculation of cost of goods manufactured, that how much cost was there to produce a product. So let's go for it. Okay, so firstly, we got to calculate raw material use. So how to calculate it? On number one, I'm going to have the opening raw material. Opening raw material is the closing raw material of the last period. Then we will add the purchase of raw material in this. Now we have the raw material available for use. This is the total amount of raw material which we can use in this period. Then we will deduct the closing raw material so that we may know that how much material was used in this period. Now let us move to the other items which are used in calculation of cost of goods manufactured. So let us go for it. Okay, so now we are going to understand about the full-fledged format of calculation of cost of goods manufactured. So firstly, we will have raw material use, as I told in the same video before, that how to calculate the raw material used. So then we will add direct labor into it, and what will get a prime cost. Then we shall add factory overhead in it, and we will get the conversion cost. What is conversion cost, by the way? Conversion cost means all the cost which is incurred to convert the raw material into work in process. That is called the conversion cost. And by applying the direct labor and the factory overheads, we will get the conversion cost. Then we will add the opening work in process, the work which was not finished in the last period. That is the opening work in process in this period. So by adding the last work in process into current one, we will get total work in process. Then by deducting closing work in process, we should come to know that how much is the cost of goods manufactured. Okay, so having got the cost of goods manufactured, now we have to have the cost of goods sold. Now how to calculate the cost of goods sold in trading business? We just add purchases in the opening inventory and then deduct the closing inventory, and in that way we get cost of goods sold. But here there is a slight change because this is a manufacturing concern, so we will be having the opening finished goods. Then we will add the cost of goods manufactured, what we have learned before. Then we will get goods available for sale, and by deducting the closing finished goods from it, we will get the cost of goods sold. So this was all the specimens of calculating the cost of goods manufactured and the cost of goods sold. In the next video, we probably discuss any of the questions regarding the cost of goods manufactured, and you will come to know that how to get the factory overhead and direct labor and direct material as well. So we are to learn one of the example regarding the calculation of cost of goods manufactured. So firstly, I have opening raw material of 166,750, and then material purchased rupees 320,160. Then in this way I've got material available for use for a 6,910. Then I will reduce, as we discussed in this specimen, the closing raw material, that is 150,080. In this way, I will get the total cost of raw material used, that is 336,830. And then I will add the direct labor into it. Direct labor is 300,150. In this way, I will get the prime cost of 636,980. Now, let us discuss that what to add in it, factory overhead, and how to get that to get the total cost. After getting the prime cost 636,980, we shall add the factory overhead. So we have expenses in factory overhead list. On number one, we have indirect labor. What does indirect labor means? Indirect labor means the labor which was not directly involved into the production, but it was necessary of the cost of the labor to be incurred. Then we have machinery depreciation, as the machinery was used in the factory and it should be the part of the cost of product. Therefore, the machinery depreciation should be added. Then heat, light and power, if it pertains to the factory, then it should be added. Then the property tax, if the property tax belongs to the factory building, then it should be added to the cost of the product. Then the miscellaneous cost, all the costs which should be incurred for producing a product but it was not directly involved into the cost of production. Then by adding 71,370 into the prime cost, we shall get 708,350 as conversion cost. Now what we have to do with all this cost and how to get the cost of production and how to calculate the cost of goods manufactured, let us see. Okay, so having calculated the conversion cost of 708,350, this conversion cost represents the work in process of this current period. And by adding the opening work in process into it, we shall get the total cost of work in process. Then, by deducting the closing work in process, we shall get the cost of goods manufactured, the goods which are manufactured in the current period. Now let us see what to do with these cost of goods manufactured. Okay, so having calculated the cost of goods manufactured, which are the finished goods of the current period, we have opening finished goods which were not sold in the previous period. Then, by adding both of them, we have goods available for sale in the current period. Then, by deducting the closing finished goods which are not sold in this period, we shall get the cost of those goods which are sold in the current period. So, this was all about cost of goods manufactured, and here we are finishing our first topic of cost accounting. We shall meet you in the next video. Till then, good luck.